Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
It's TANYA ABREU, who's founder and president of WOW Health Group. And WOW is really who you are. When we met you, when we sat and talked with you, I knew that you were a WOW girl.
Oh, thank you so much.
Have you always been a WOW girl?
I think so. My parents used to tell me that from the time I was about 9 months, I would stand up in the cradle way before they were awake and just start just babbling. And if I didn't get there in time, I would remove all of my clothing in anticipation of getting ready for the day. So I think there was a little bit of a WOW spirit back then. But it's not my fault. I inherited it.
Tanya. That is wonderful. Well, let's talk about what your dream is and what you've just opened so that people can start to anticipate coming to see you.
You know, someone asked me the other day why I left hospital marketing to open a practice with a physician, Dr. Allison Levitt, to really work directly with consumers as well as other physicians who want to practice medicine differently. And I think the heart of it, the whole drive for it, was my own personal tribulations, not just with having cancer or other things that I went through, but just with getting older. And, you know, the world believes that as we age, it's a sad thing. It's a loss. It's something to mourn. It's to remember. And then we even have phrases like glory days. And I realized that when I survived cancer and I was in my 50s, I said, this is my glory. And all of us deserve to feel better as we age than we did ever in our lives. And so WOW was born. And I interviewed literally hundreds of, I would say, 45 to 95. And the biggest complaint was feeling worn out by life, feeling exhausted. And the biggest desire was to have their energy back and to feel like life was a hopeful path. And so WOW was born, worn out to well, and to find doctors and modalities and treatments and ways of life. It's how we live that make us feel wow. Anytime we're tempted to feel like a rainy, stormy Florida morning, and just feel like a rainy, stormy Florida morning, and just kind of give up and stay in bed.
Well, that's a good explanation. That's like an elevator speech, and that's super. But let's just say, let's have like a little visual anticipation of going into what we really call now, are we going to call it WOW Health Studio?
Yes, we
WOW
like the
Health
studio because we do yoga.
Yep.
And we do an artistic approach to keeping people feeling really great.
Well, you're going to see on the front cover of the October issue what her studio looks like. It's so gorgeous. They'll probably be out this coming week. I was very thrilled when I first went there. Just had a great aura, great feeling, and then meeting you. And you had all these people running in and out in the back. What were they doing?
Well, we have on any given day, about 4 providers of WOW, whether there are body workers, our massage therapists, our paramedical facials, our medical assistant, our physician herself. We have a cadre, a posse of people who work for individuals that come in. And so someone may come in for a nutritional test. We do a lot of testing of, we find you think maybe you're depressed or mentally upset with something. And then we do a micronutrient test and you're depleted and deficient in all your major stress vitamins. And we find that we can make people really happy by actually giving them happiness in a bottle in a Replete B formula. But if someone comes in, they usually say, wait a second, you do IV infusions, you do Myers-Cox, let me do that. So we always have a couple of people to even serve one person. It takes an army to make you feel wow. That's what I
Well, when we were sitting there was a woman who said she had already had one treatment and she was coming back for a second one, for I guess it was the PRP. That's something to do with her hair. What was all that?
Oh, she was there the day you were there. Okay. Well, we have one of our service lines, and we have 6, but one of our largest and what we're most known for at the moment is a part of regenerative medicine called platelet-rich planet. For a glorious 9 minutes. And the result is 3 levels. One is that red, nutrient dense, your blood, what carries nutrients through your body. Then there are 2 other levels. There's a plasma level and there's a platelet rich plasma level. And those are physically gold colors. And I think that's what I call it. It's the gold in blood. And we use that, especially the very top. We cultivate it for the growth factors. And then your stem cells, your growth factors, your healing power is injected back into your body where you want regeneration. So we specialize in 4 types of regeneration. The woman that you met had, female balding, and we all experience some degree of that to hormone loss as we age. But some people, for stress and other reasons, really get an embarrassing situation. So we re-inject that golden blood, that platelet-rich plasma, back into the hair follicles to reactivate the dying, stressed out parts of your body. Really, our most popular use, well, actually 2, is orthopedic. Tennis elbows, golfer knees and shoulders, osteoarthritis. I had it done for bone-on-bone left knee arthritis, and in 3 weeks, I forgot what that knife pain felt like. And so hips, meniscus tears, it really is wherever your body could use a little boost of healing. Of course, we always want to put our brightest billboard to the world. So facial rejuvenation, especially around the neck. Nothing short of surgery right now works for the neck, but PRP helps plump up. It restores, you don't look fake ever. It restores your natural collagen, your natural base. It brings you back and also helps to retard aging because it's rejuvenating as the clock ticks. And then lastly, we call it sexual rejuvenation.
That should be firstly, but that's okay.
Okay. But yes, and it's wonderful. And for men and women, it sounds painful, but it's probably the least uncomfortable procedure. And it really is about, dare I say, making you juicy again. You know, your tissues need rejuvenation in men and women in order for them to be tighter and stronger.
This is just amazing, and I've been watching you as you've been talking, and you have gorgeous teeth. Do you know that?
Oh, I have spent a lifetime taking care of them.
I was going to say, because it's obvious. I was going to ask you if you had braces when you were little, but anyway, they're really beautiful. So,
thank you.
But I have found you to be so energetic, which is just lovely, even though you have been through a lot of life stresses. And that's a mental spirit that you somehow, as you said, when you were little, maybe it came from your family. But when you get people who do come in there, are you able to, and I've always said this, and I'm just kind of thinking about it. Sometimes people go and they have plastic surgery and they're the same person.
Or lose 100 pounds.
Because they haven't really found out who they are first, right? So, and I'm sure you see people like that. They think they're going to come in there and they're just going to be perfect and beautiful, but they won't be if they don't love themselves. And I know you're very big on that.
Yeah, actually, Hannah Tishy, who had the studio as a aerial yoga studio prior, and it's now Defy Gravity with Lisa Medlansky. But Hannah was a very dear friend, and she passed in a horrible accident on 95 last November. But she used to say to me that the most wonderful thing about being my friend is that I loved my own imperfections as much as I loved trying to be perfect. And that's health. This morning I had a deflated tire and I said, I'm going to be late. I'm going to be late. Anita, who is the most remarkable human being I've met in ages, is going to be really disappointed in me. And I said, this is the time for resilience to first of all just breathe and say that, I have faith that everything is going to go smoothly. And it did. I got to meet the doctor on my way,
Dr. Mincy,
yeah,
right?
and I just said to myself, that's really a definition. And you're absolutely right. People come into us and say, all right, I want to feel wow right now. The truth is, you can feel well any moment. You just have to learn what your triggers are to feel good. The memories, the songs, the smells, the massage, the dance, whatever it does that can bring you back to a place that had no pain, that had just kind of We've done research recently on Alzheimer's and how dance stops it in midstream. You can take somebody who's having a very particularly rough day in Alzheimer's and turn music on and dance with them and find them totally calm and present. So it's about finding what makes you feel strong. And it's also about, it's natural, but it's also about making sure your body is in a healthiest enough state for nature. It's funny. The Dr. Levitt taught me about something yesterday. We have a patient, we do these blood tests, who has a very rare disorder. I love learning about this disorder. It is her body makes too much leptin, the hunger hormone, and there's nothing she can do about it. She's hungry all the time. She thought it was psychological. She thought she was neurotic and had no self-control and has beat herself up for years. But truly, we have found that her body physiologically has too much leptin and that there are supplements to curb that so that she can live a healthy, non-self-hating life and have a normal appetite. So I always invite people to say, yes, life is hard, and sometimes we don't feel up to the challenges, and sometimes we think it's all here and mental, but really there are physiological reasons that can be treated without going on heavy drugs or painkillers or antidepressants, really nutritionally or with exercise or, being around people who are joyful helps.
Yes, it's right. People who are negative is not the way to live your life. You have to get away from them. But I thought maybe at this time you could explain what kind of activities are going to happen at Wow Health. You have something coming up. We want people to go there.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yes.
No, but anyway, but before you do this, TANYA ABREU, and the way to get in touch with them, if you want more information, is 866-376-0632. Again, get your pencils out. Remember, this is Pencil Talk Radio. Get your pencils off because we're going to give you a lot of information. 866-376-0632. And if you want to go onto their website, which is glorious, it's wowhealthgroup.com. Wowhealthgroup.com. Okay, shoot.
Yeah, and I do want to add to that while they have their pencils in their hands that I'm very accessible personally by email. Some people don't like to call. Some people have a personal question. I say something, it hits a nerve. And so my name is Tanya, TANYA, at wow, WOW, healthgroup.com. Tanya at wowhealthgroup.com. On October 18th, this month at 6:30, we are having an open house party. We will have our yoga instructors, all ages, all sizes, both men and women, all levels. Those of you that don't even know what yoga is, you need to be there. We have a DJ, a young DJ who will play music that you absolutely can't resist moving to. We have food. We have our doctor there that is wonderful at answering questions, very accessible, believes that being a physician is about being a servant, which is one of the reasons why I admire her more than most people that I've met in the profession. And we really just want to gather and explain by doing what it means to have a wow lifestyle, what it means to live moment by moment and as joyfully as you can.
So October 18th is a Tuesday.
It is.
Right, I just checked that out. I wanted to make sure it was. So it's Tuesday, October the 18th, 6:30. And I'll tell you where you're going to go. Remember, get your pencils out. I should have written this all up anyway. 5821 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's 5821 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton.
North of Yamata, little
right, north of Yamata. But if you want even better directions, call the number 866-376-0632. And I hope I'll be there. I hope you're going to be there. It's Tuesday, October the 18th at 6:30, and it's free, is what you're saying?
Absolutely free.
Wow, how can you beat that? And they're going to get to meet you.
They will. They will. I will be there with bells on.
I get a chance to get into the aerial yoga? That has me so fascinated.
Oh, it is. And, I don't want people to be intimidated by the word aerial, like you have to fly, because I'm painting right now in a new home, and I hate the ladder. I will tell you that the first time I experienced it was using it to do exercise. My friend Hannah explained that especially if you have joint degeneration and pain, some of the things that people do, like crunches and squats are impossible. But when you use this very, very extra strong silk swing to hold on to, you can do things that you haven't done in years and feel beautiful and graceful doing it. The other wonderful part of the swing, and my fiance just experienced it and I couldn't get him out after that, is that you kind of fan it out so it becomes a hammock. But it's a different kind of hammock because of the silk and its tensile strength. It really embraces you and it's almost womb-like. And so you can lay in this and you get this feeling of absolute peace.
Can you have two people in one?
I think they may make extra large. I haven't, although moms have come in with young children, so yes.
It sounds pretty romantic to me.
It does. Gee,
I'm sorry, my mind just
your
runs
mind
there.
is-
It does. I've always done that.
But yeah, so
it'd be
the
fun.
aerial yoga for you, it's all different
Right,
aspects. And then,
right.
of course, the bulk of our students and teachers are 50s, 60s, and even early 70s. And they are in those swings every day. They're my inspiration. They do standing aerial. They do amazing things safely, slowly, cautiously. Most of our classes are held during the day, not for like young working people. It's for those of us that have a little more time to pay attention to cultivating ourselves and our bodies.
Yeah, I think that's what, of course, the aerial photograph is going to be on the cover of Boomer Times for that's coming up in October. So it's October the 18th at 6:30. We want to see you there. I'm so excited about going. And remember, the number again is 866-376-0632, or go to their website, wowhealthgroup.com. Now, I know this is fairly new for you because you just took this over, but you've been in this a business for years and years.
27 years.
Yeah, you've been world famous. I mean, you've done things all over the country. And how did you wind up here in South Florida?
Well, I had a company that basically did marketing and consulting for hospitals. And we found that originally we were in Cleveland, and we found that people would prefer to travel to South Florida. So we moved the business here, and I loved it. I mean, it's an environment of hopefulness every day, between the sea and the beautiful flora, and the sky every day is absolutely fabulous. It's a place that, I use as a base. I do love to travel. As you noted, I've traveled all over the world in women's health. And, it's funny. One of the things I want to tell the listeners is, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling like there's nothing really to look forward to, you need to call us, because that's around the world. That's been my specialty: how to restore hope through health, how to restore hope through health. Hope doesn't come through your mind. It comes through your heart and through having a body that wants to stay alive. And, I've worked in hospice with young cancer patients, and the difference between those that didn't get to hospice and those that survived at any age is finding equilibrium and balance and hope. And that's what WOW specializes in, and as well as just having fun, no matter what's going on in your life. And trust me, I know what darkness can feel like. No matter what's going on, you can have fun. You can connect to absolute strangers, even though you might just don't even want to see anybody. And those strangers can bring something that you'll remember for the rest of your life.
And I think that's what's very good about your having these, I'll call it a party.
It is a party.
A party. And people will meet other people. Just force yourself to go. You don't have to do yoga. Just go and be a spectator, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. The last one we had a wonderful open house, and we had people that came from the community. We had a bus from a senior center come. We had no idea. They were not associated with us at all. They were the biggest drinkers and partiers, and they left. And it was great. And we've heard from 2 or 3 that have come in for massages or facials. And one actually just came in for shoulder platelet-rich plasma therapy, and they were just out of the blue because they saw it on Eventbrite, and it was local, and the bus would take them. So it really is an open house, and it really is not about business, because honestly, we're flourishing We want new patients. We want new people in our community. We call this the WOW movement here in South Florida, and hopefully within a year to 5 years around the country. But it's about just joining the energy. You don't have to spend a dime. I promise people. It's about joining this energy and feeding us too. That's why we give free food. It's like our payment. You come, be happy, and we'll feed you.
And I want to ask you a question. We see so much now, Tanya, about women's health. Mm-hmm. How is women's health different than men's health?
Women's organisms, our bodies, are we know this, we're far more complicated. Remember, we have hormone systems that drive us from the time we're about 10 years old and differentiate us from males. That allow us to procreate and that allow us to think differently. But it's every 28 days, our body shifts and changes cyclically. Men don't, okay? So our bodies have strengths. For instance, women's hearts tend to be stronger because every month as we age, it's washed with hormones, where men's tend to be, pretty static throughout their lifetime. So we have definitely different adrenal systems that affect our heart health differently, that affect our bones differently, and men have a different set of hormones, and their diseases are differently and need to be treated differently. We're finding that our chemical makeups, which are all pretty much based in hormones, are really what's responsible for how we process disease and pain. So when we talk to a woman, we do a different battery of tests. We know about hormones, but there are other things we test for, growth factors and growth hormones that may appear differently in a woman than a man. So it really is systemic. Not that our hearts are smaller, but that's not it. We don't, besides genitals, we don't have different organs. We just systematically process differently. And it's important to go to a physician that understands those differences.
So that's why the book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. Is that what that, I learned a lot from that book.
It was a brilliant book.
It really was, because a lot of people just said to us, oh, you're blah, 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 but there's a reason. Mm-hmm. And we do think differently, and you have to find someone who can appreciate that, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so will you be having a lot of events at your WOW Health?
We will be having
studio?
a lot of classes. Getting ready for the holidays. We have classes on stress. We're actually having an amazing, we're calling it WOW Reset health program. So in 7 days, we're offering, it's actually 14 days, but we're offering a detox program. No matter your age, especially over 50, you're carrying around heavy metals. You're carrying around all kinds of toxins that is contributing to you laying in bed saying, boy, my joints hurt on this Saturday morning. I really don't want to meet my friends and walk. And part of that is because your body has really accumulated bad stuff. And our doctor has designed an easy and fun 14-day program. So we'll be launching that, and there'll be a couple of classes. We have belly dancing classes. We have waltz ballroom classes coming up in November. Have a whole myriad of move it and live.
Tanya, this has been quite a dance this morning. It's been lovely, and I'm so glad you're here, and I know we'll hear a lot more from you. So everybody just stay out of the rain, but make sure you get over there. You don't even have to wait for October the 18th. You can get over there to 5821 North Federal Highway to the WOW Healing Arts Studio. Mm-hmm. So thanks so much, Tanya.
Thank you, Anita.
Bye.
Bye. Whole myriad of move it and live.
Tanya, this has been quite a dance this morning. It's been lovely, and I'm so glad you're here, and I know we'll hear a lot more from you. So everybody just stay out of the rain, but make sure you get over there. You don't even have to wait for October the 18th. You can get over there to 5821 North Federal Highway to the WOW Healing Arts Studio. Mm-hmm. So thanks so much, Tanya.
Thank you, Anita.
Bye.
Bye.